Hi fairies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fifi. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay well. Today we are going to be doing my October wrap-up. I'm going to talk about all the books that I read in the month of October. I'm really excited to talk about these books because I haven't had the opportunity to talk about a lot of them yet, so let's get straight into it. First book I read in the month of October for some reason was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This was my first Jane Austen book, I'm pretty sure, and I did really enjoy it. There were some parts that were annoying because of the misogyny, and obviously it's based on a very old time period, like 1800s, I'm pretty sure, and so naturally there would be like misogynistic takes and, you know, just people acting a certain way towards women and men acting a certain way towards women. So I didn't love that part, especially in the beginning, but when I like honed into it and got more into the book, I was just enjoying it for what it was. I was enjoying the drama. Like, even in my Goodreads review, the only thing I put in my review was the drama, because that's literally all you can use to explain this book. It's just so incredibly drama filled. So many things were going on. This person was getting with this person wanted to marry this person, while this person was lying about this to get with, like, it was just a whole lot. I can't even explain what really it's about, but it's about this family that has a lot of daughters and they're all trying to get married except for one, I'm pretty sure, who is not really interested in that. But then she falls in love with Darcy and just things, so many things happen, but that's like the main plot for you to go into the book and find out more, obviously. But yeah, I gave this book 4 stars. I do find it hard a little bit rating classics because I don't really know what my metrics would be, but for what it was, I gave this book 4 stars and I really did enjoy it. The next book I read was Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, and this was a little rom-com romance type book based on 2 comedians. One is an aspiring comedian, a woman, and the other is like a comedian that was almost retiring because he couldn't really do it anymore. He got a child and had to focus on her, and just, I don't know, he couldn't do it anymore. And then he started managing this aspiring comedian, and yeah, things blossom from there. They start a relationship. I would like to point out that he's like 35 and she's 25, I'm pretty sure, so there's like a 10-year age gap, and there was also like a bit of a power imbalance because she was a fan of him like way before they even met, and like there were just too many things that were icky for me. And this isn't like a dark romance, I don't know why all that was necessary, but yeah, I did not enjoy it for that fact. But also I felt like he was very full of himself and just very condescending. Like, he would speak to her like a dad or a big brother, but like, you're trying to, so why exactly are you talking to me like this? Like, he was just very condescending, talking to her like she was in a relationship with someone else that was her age, and he was referring to him as that little boy, that kid. Like, I'm like, okay sir, chill out. The last thing I hated about this book was the fact that there were so many poop jokes. Yes, this is a book about comedians, like obviously there's going to be so many puns and jokes and just random things, but the amount of times they joked about poop, it's so random. But like, I really did not like that. It irritated me. Like, it was okay and funny, I guess, at first, like when they did it the first 2 times, but then why am I in chapter 20 and you're still making jokes about poop? Like, enough. Nobody wants to hear that. There was also a scene where she was on her period and like they were trying to get into it, but like, they were just unnecessary in my opinion. I gave this book 3 stars because I just did not enjoy it. I don't really like romance books. I've said this before, like, they're not my thing because there's not much to hold on to with them. It's just like cringe and corny content. I prefer romantasies or like books that have something else that I can grasp onto and, you know, something more substantial. So anytime I read romance books, I'm literally just trying to find a romance book that I can love like other people love. But yeah, so far I haven't found that, unfortunately. So, and then I read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, and the reason I read this book is because so many people have been talking about it. Even Haley Pham is constantly talking about how it's like the best book she has ever read, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, like fine, let me check it out. So I read it. I don't know what people are seeing in this book, to be honest. Like, I don't know what exactly, maybe I missed something, I don't know, but I really did not like this book. First of all, the female main character was so incredibly annoying. She's like one of the most annoying FMCs I've ever like read in a book. She was so delusional and just like self-centered. She was just hurting everybody around her without no repercussions, no consequences. Like, it really pissed me off. The things she did to her friend and her stepmother, it just was brushed off, and like they reconciled easily. I'm like, that's not how things work in real life. Like, you cannot talk to people this way, and you know, just everything will just end up so flowery and beautifully. Like, it's not, it's kind of stupid, you know. Yeah, she was still grieving her mother's death, but she did not have any right to be the way that she was to some people. I really don't think she deserved worse at the end of the day, but yeah, I gave this book 3 stars, but to be honest, it's more of a like 2.5 because I literally could not deal. Sorry to all the lovers of this book, it's just it's not good. Also, the amount of pop culture references, like I wanted to throw up. I don't know why people are hyping this up. Like, is this not corny to you guys? Like, it's so incredibly corny, but maybe it's just me. I just cannot handle pop culture references in books. Like, enough. Please. The next book I read was this book, Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jo. I'm pretty sure this is the first Lisa Jo book I've read. I really enjoyed this book. I really did, but I just could not get over the fact that I was predicting literally almost everything that was happening. It's pretty dark, you know, like some weird messed up stuff happened in the book, so keep that in mind. I also do not love the female main character. Like, the book is about this woman whose child goes missing, and then for some reason years later she meets this man that has a daughter that looks very akin to her child that went missing all those years ago. So like everything spirals from there. It was just really annoying that she had 3 children and a husband, and then one child went missing and she just completely disregarded the other 2 children and her husband and just pushed them to the side. And you know, yes, obviously you're grieving and stuff like that, but like they're also grieving. Like, that's their sister, that's his daughter. Like, she was just so incredibly annoying to me. I do think it was intentional that she was so flawed and annoying, but I still did not enjoy that, you know. But I enjoyed the book in itself for what it was. I gave it 4 stars and I would really recommend it. The next book I read was The Dark Half by Stephen King. This was my first ever Stephen King book, and I actually did a reading vlog on this, so you can go check it out if you'd like. But I really enjoyed this book. I will say, one, it's very gory, so keep that in mind. Very gory, but I expected it to be scary. People say Stephen King books are so scary, like it's a horror book essentially, but I was not scared. I was just like creeped out, and everything was just feeling very eerie, but I was not necessarily scared. Granted, I am not that easily scared because I love watching horror movies. I love anything horror, so this book did not scare me like that, but keep in mind it's very gory. Okay, I would say I was just like disgusted at the gory imagery, but I enjoyed it for what it was, to be honest. Took me so long because it's so long and the font is so small. I ended up finishing it on my iPad with the ebook because I just could not deal with the smallest fonts. And yeah, I really did enjoy this book. It's about a man, how do I explain it without giving it away? It's about a writer who got into a rut of sorts and stopped being able to write books, but then he created an alter ego of himself that he was able to write books under with a different alias, and then things just go kind of crazy from there. I don't want to tell you too much, but I think if I tell you one thing, you'll pretty much be able to decipher the rest of the book. I would say it was not that twisty. Like, I got pretty much every plot twist, and the ending was quite underwhelming in my opinion, so I don't know what that says, but I really did enjoy it. I give it 4 stars. It's like a really good 4-star book. The next book I read was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is like a YA mystery thriller. It's about this group of kids that apparently have this, I wouldn't say powers, but they have the ability to decipher some things, and so the FBI rounds them up and brings them in to help solve cases and stuff like that. And yeah, things just go from there. But yeah, I enjoyed this book for what it was. I really don't have any like full thoughts on it because I just thought it was okay, you know. It wasn't anything special, but it was still really good. And the ending, actually, like the plot twist, was actually quite interesting. I almost guessed it, but I was like off by a mark, so I will say the plot twist was pretty okay. It just wasn't anything spectacular in my opinion, and I read it because I heard so many people talk about it and hype it up, and I just thought I would get more, and that did not happen. So yeah, I will be continuing this series, but the book was good, you know. I gave it 3.5 stars, which is not bad, but not the best thing ever, you know. After reading Better Than the Movies, I don't know why I thought I would like this book, but I read it either ways, and yeah, it was a book. I really went into it thinking there was no way it was going to be more cringy or more corny than Better Than the Movies, and it was worse. No hate to anyone that liked this book, but oh my god, I could not deal with the amount of Taylor Swift references, the amount of pop culture references. Like, it was overkill in this book. Like, I thought it was bad in Better Than the Movies. It was literally like I wanted to kill myself. Like, why? Like, what? I guess that's her appeal and that's her thing. Like, that's why some people like her, but I just cannot do it. I'm reading books to get away from what's happening now. I'm like, I don't want to hear about freaking Taylor Swift. I don't want to hear about Camila Cabello. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, why are we doing this? I don't understand. Also, the book itself was just not that good, in my opinion. It was like a cesspool of so many like badly executed tropes. It's about these two people that met once at an airport, and for some reason she's already hating him because he's like this rugged type of guy. Then they go their separate ways, and years later they meet again and form a friendship, and just things go haywire from there. And just, it felt very stupid, in my opinion. The girl was so annoying. She was so selfish. Like, her mother, I don't want to like divulge any spoilers, but like, she was so selfish. Like, she literally only thought of herself, and the guy was so incredibly stupid and so annoying. He was just so condescending because she's like a nerd, but not really. She just like is very specific about some things, and so he would like tease her, but not even tease her, he would just be mean to her. And I'm like, I read some reviews and people were like, oh my god, he's like, I can't remember his name, to be honest, but people were like, oh my god, he's the best boyfriend ever. I'm like, whoa, are you guys good? Are you guys okay? Because no, I'm not going to say anything more because I just can't. I gave it 2 stars, so do with that what you will. Then for some reason, once again, I read the novella that comes after that book called Better Than Before, and this book kind of ties in Better Than the Movies and Betting on You. It shows the two main characters when they were like younger, prior to, you know, the occurrences of the books, because they are cousins and they, you know, hang out, they go to live with each other sometimes, and they talk about these girls that they met, and it's just it was honestly quite pointless and baseless, plotless once again, which obviously with a novella, what exactly are you expecting, you know? So yeah, I did not hate it, but it was just okay. So I gave it 2.5 stars. Not the worst novella I've ever read, but still just unnecessary. Then I did a 24-hour readathon, which is coming out soon, by the way, so stay tuned for that. And I read only fantasy books, and those are like the last few books I read this month. So the first one was House of Lies and Sorrows. It's the first book in the Fae of Raywith series, and I talk a lot obviously about this book, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. Just stay tuned for that video. But this book is about a human girl that gets promised of and married to the prince of the Fae because her father owes the king something that we never find out, to be honest. But she is to be this prince's 4th wife. The past 3 wives have been killed for some reason, and the rumor that has been going around town is that he kills off these wives after he marries them, which is like, you know. So she goes into this marriage thinking she's going to die and get killed, but obviously that doesn't happen because for some reason she's the chosen one. But yeah, I did not enjoy this book. It was honestly quite plotless and just like so incredibly annoying. There was no chemistry between the main characters at all. He was just plain rude to her. I know it's supposed to be enemies to lovers, but he was plain rude and mean to her. He would literally lock her up in this room for days just because he's trying to protect her, but he still like hates her. It was quite stupid in my opinion. Also, there were so many typographical errors and just phrases and things where they shouldn't be. I was like, okay, like what are we doing here? I don't know if this is this author's first book or what, but I did not enjoy that. I enjoyed it for entertainment purposes because it was quite entertaining, I will say. And also at the end, the plot twist was quite interesting. It was not like shocking, but it was surprising. So for that reason alone, I will be continuing this series. I gave the book 2.5 stars, which is I feel like I'm being so mean in this video, but like I don't know, I just read not that great books this month and it actually really pissed me off. And then I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and this is a YA fantasy. I really can't tell you much about this book because everything that happens in this book happens because of this particular thing that happens in the epilogue, so I cannot obviously disclose that, but I would say it's about two human girls and one half human that have to live in the fake kingdom, and just things spiral from there. That's all I will tell you. I really did enjoy the book. I thought the plot was so good, so fleshed out. The characters were also really, really good, multi-layered, and I just really enjoyed it for what it was, to be honest, and I'm really excited to get into the next one. But I did read the novella that comes after it called The Lost Sisters, and honestly I did not like that book because it was just from the point of view of the sister of the main character, and it was just her trying to justify her actions and everything that she did. So I gave The Cruel Prince 4.25 stars, but I gave The Lost Sisters 2.5 stars. And then the last book I read in the month of October was this book, Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. This is the first book in the His Dark Materials trilogy, and I quite enjoyed this book for what it was. It's like in the same vein of Harry Potter books, you know, just adventure themed fantasy books, and I really, really did enjoy it. But yeah, those are all the books I read in the month of October. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to read more books and do reading vlogs. And yeah, thank you guys once again for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.